It's the
serve is pretty important to him.
Yes, I think he's got an underrated serve, and one tends to centre on his ground strokes, on his forehand career, but over the years his serve has done him a lot of good, a bit like it did for Lendl.
And so often it enables him to get that big forehand in.
Exactly, particularly using this new ultra kick serve of his.
Ace number 4, 195 Ks, that registers. Courier had a terrific Davis Cup tie against Belgium, beat Philippe de Wolf, and then stood in for the injured Richie Renneberg in the doubles with Todd Martin and clinched the tie in the 5th set. Interestingly, America have never lost a Davis Cup tie when Courier's been in their team. And he's a man I think any team would love to set into battle for them.
Well, I think it's been particularly meaningful for him this year. Draper not as involved in Davis Cup play because, of course, the likes of Rafter and Stoltenberg and the Woodbridge and Woodford ranked above him. Although not anymore, they aren't in singles. Draper now the 5th ranked Australian at 46 as a result of his final showing in Washington. Woodbridge down to 58. Mark Woodford at 53 in the world.
Aces number 7 and 8 for Draper. Yeah, that was very emphatic, and he's looking better and better as this match goes on now. Courier gave him a long stare there, as if, I remember last time I played you. Fifth ace for Courier. And his North American fan club beginning to make their presence felt.
Yes, the Davis Cup has done a lot for Courier. I think it's probably kept him on top of things, kept him bubbling this year. Because his ranking having dropped from 21 to 71 during the course of the year.
Yeah, serve was wide. Yeah. Talking to Mercer last year, the illustrious David Mercer, and he was saying that of course he was an umpire before he got a proper job, and he said that that call is the toughest one to overrule from the chair, but not from the ground. You should be able to get it right.
They're all the same, but you can see Courier's displeasure there, but really, if he thought it was out, he ought to have stopped playing immediately. Not that you can point to many marks here. Sometimes a mark left, but as you can see, there are a lot of marks on the court, so difficult to pick them out.
Loose as a goose. Really timing that forehand in this particular game. Yeah, nails him with the backhand, but it was the forehand throughout the game that made the difference there. Much more emphatic, commanding game from the Australian, that one. He leads 4-3 and by a set. Welcome back to this absorbing battle, the first match we're covering. You our extensive coverage through the week here on Eurosport of the Canadian Du Maurier Open. 3-4 courier, second set. He's a set down to Scott Draper.
Position quickly for that shot, and Courier really stabbed the right foot down on the court. Just watch this. Plants the right foot. Beautiful positioning of the body for it. Make sure the racket head is parallel to the court surface. Big Western forehand.
And just in case Draper doesn't realise it's a good shot, Courier goes, yep, as he hits it. At his best, he was the most combative player of the change of a decade, really. It's that he's lost a bit of that, although just occasionally it re-emerges. Something about a leopard never totally changing its spots. I wonder who's practicing his volley. That wasn't good.
Yes, he's certainly been found wanting there just a little bit. He was in a good position, played the approach well, and not that difficult to volley.
What a lovely shot that was from Draper. Amazing angle.
Clever shot, because most opponents would have expected a far deeper shot from him, yet he got the angle, almost a clay court as cross-court forehand.
Serving really well now. Courier's not picking up too many points on the Draper serve. And Courier's got to serve now to stay in the match. A set down, 4-5, second set. set, a set down. Scott Draper of Australia serving to stay in the match here at the York University Centre. Again, that slice is working well for him.
Yes, and having used it once successfully, finding that Courier has the problem with it, he's used it a few more times since. Why not? He's obviously aware of the fact that he's done it. Sometimes you play a shot and of course you don't realize why the opponent's missing it. You never cotton on. Well, Courier almost tempted him there with the volley, but of course he didn't want to try anything dramatic. He realizes that he hasn't been volleying well, so playing almost a safe volley and just giving Draper that glimmer of a chance, and he figured it's such an important point he'll go for it. When he begins to look a little unfussed, almost serene out there, Draper. That's how he did in the last game of the last set, of the first set.
It's one of those he fancied off his racket. It was about 1.5 foot long, but it just felt good as he played it.
Yes, he actually hit it pretty well. It was just a forceful serve. Just had a bit of extra depth on it, extra bit of power. And there again, I think just taking a little bit off the serve, making sure that it's fairly fast but getting good depth, and I think that's a good play, particularly to that right court on the Draper backhand side.
Another look down court just to show that he was still very much in this match. Remember, he came from a set down and a breakdown to beat this fella last year and keep his game. 5-all. Worth a go?
Well, he was quite a long way back, really. It had to be a particularly fine drop shot. I think perhaps a little risky, but he'd been winning his serve so easily that he figured he's got scope. He'd won the previous 9 points on his serve.
Well played, Courier. Mastered the slice of Draper there. The Courier camp.
Well, once again, that serve comes in handy at the appropriate time from a Draper standpoint. And of course, generally, these are the better side, the left court that he's now serving to, particularly to somebody like Courier with a much weaker backhand. That's just what I was thinking. He'll probably try and fool us by going down the middle. Now, will he maintain that strategy?
Problems now for Draper. Courier poised. But remember all those break points in the first set. Set he lost.
Interesting tactic from Courier. The first time he's used it, the lofted backhand, the high ball backhand, which set up the opportunity to use the big forehand.
Good. The shot he's been vulnerable on, but when it mattered, he produced it.
Yes, it was a fine strike because Courier actually came in a little earlier than he would normally do, but perhaps sensing this was just the moment for him.
It's still break point.
And as you say, had Draper played his backhand as he had been playing them, he might have had something on the volley.
Just missed. By a Nats. Courier's got it. Would you believe it? And he's played so well to do it. Isn't it typical of the man, though? Never ever write him off.
Courier leads 6 games to 5.
And it's an extraordinary turnaround when, as you say, Fru, he'd won, what, 9 points in a row on his serve to Draper. Didn't look like he could lose his serve. And yet here he is, Courier, now just a game away from taking us into a deciding set.
But as you pointed out, Courier hasn't lost heart, and there certainly haven't been any signs of despondency, even though he was a set down and almost looking out of it, with Draper winning his serve that easily, and Draper perhaps just taking his foot off the accelerator for one moment, trying that drop shot at the first point of his service game, and lo and behold, it has turned out to be costly, because it just gave Courier that extra bit of inspiration that he needed. And once he'd won that first point, he was looked a different player, looked as if he really had a mission and was about to accomplish it.
Instructions for that man, Brad Stein. The racket being restrung. Hope the message went out. 67.
Time.
Now, can he see it through? Remember, it looked as if he'd take the first set when he came from, what, 5-2 down to 5-all. Then he lost his way, so it's still not over. But you sense he deserves to take this into a decider. 6-5. I was surprised again when he played the shot. I thought the big booming forehand would have done the trick, but he knew better.
Well, I think, of course, that's what people expect as soon as he does run around, as soon as he does play the forehand from that left court, but wisely just fooling Draper with this little touch drop shot. Superb point, though. Both players really hitting the ball well during the course of it.
The crowd really absorbed in this now. Loving this Courier fight back. Here are 3 set points. And he does it with ace number 6. An emphatic way to finish the set.
One set off.
And he'll be mighty pleased with Mr. Stein.
Final set.
Will Draper be thinking now of what happened at Lipton last year, the chances he's had to bury this? Courier now really alive. No. It was a decent shot from Courier, but Draper had read it, hadn't he? And he really should have made that. Big fist, that one from Courier.
Yes. I'm not surprised. There's everything about the shot really to have absolutely delighted Courier, because he seemed to make something from nothing.
How much belief is there in Draper now? It's an important section of the match. Courier could really jump on him here. You know how much belief there is in Courier. Well, wasn't as positive as earlier, but it was just enough on the volley.
40.
And that may well be a very important game for Scott Draper, opening out this third set. How much do opponents remember previous matches at times like this, Fru? Is it totally gone, or is there an instinct that, oh yeah, I remember this from before? You just can't bury a guy like Courier.
Well, obviously there are matches, some on bigger occasions, that you're more likely to remember than others, but I would think they would remember them. I would think Draper particularly, because he was well up in that match in Key Biscayne, and it was a match that had looked really as if he were going to win, and yet it suddenly just fizzled away from him. And Courier will remember it as well, the fact that he was down, and yet he ripped the match away from Draper's grasp.
There are the bare statistics. A pretty level set. Courier, as you can see, his first serve percentage jumping up in that second set to 77, which is admirable.
Yes, I think I remarked that at the latter stage there, he was just taking quite a bit off his serve and getting a high percentage of first serves in, which resulted, I think, in that 77.
But certainly beginning to pick his form up here. Got to the quarter-final in Washington. Stayed hit.
Yes, the new balls is giving him a little bit of extra power. Of course, as a returner, if you can get onto them, they give you that much more power as well. It's not always a gimme serving with the new balls.
Courier playing so much better now, isn't he? Didn't feel that Draper did much wrong in that rally. He was mixing it up, doing what he could, but Courier's got the answers now.
Yes, I think in that rally, just taking a bit off his ground strokes as he has off his serve. Hitting them well enough and hard enough, but just not quite as ultra powerfully as he had been earlier.
Yes. A little bit cheeky perhaps from Draper, and Courier read him to perfection.
Yes, Draper looking for the wrong footing, a shot off the forehand here, taking a lot of pace off it, expecting Courier to have moved. And Courier judging his lob to perfection. He just did a little fake there, Courier, as if he was going to move, and encouraged Draper to play back to him.
Fourth double. If Draper is to make the advance that many predict, it's the kind of game he's got to win. It's been a terrific time for him this summer. But if he's going to move up that next step, it's this kind of match he's got to see through.
Yes, I think that's a fair point, because as good a player as Courier is, he's not at his best now, and as you say, Draper playing so much better ought to be able to win the match.
But even a Courier who's not at his best, he has so much macho charisma about him that it might get to Draper at the crucial stage. It did last year at Lipton, will it here? Oh, yes. A boomer. So with serve so far in the deciding set, and it's the Australian who leads at the moment 2-1. An hour and 3/4 it's lasted so far. Yeah, 196. He has to serve much quicker than that.
Well, it's a terrific mixture of serves, isn't it? We saw the one very flat, and then that kicker again. And Draper just can't be sure what's going to come.
This is Courier playing like he was 7 years ago. Just a delightful shot. How relevant it is, we'll see.
Yes, it seemed to come from nowhere, because I was just admiring Courier's retrieving and his backhand slice, and suddenly the ball's past him.
Serving so well. Is he getting to Draper minute by minute, game by game? Yes. Again, the combination of spin, the slice followed by the over-the-top shot.
Yes, the backhand slice working again, although this time Courier electing to go in behind it, seeing that he had to play it at mid-court anyway, so no matter which way Draper plays it, he seems to come out on top.
The best tennis of the match now, both playing well. Very difficult to pick a winner. I slightly go with Courier, but not by much. And you, Fru?
Yes, it is difficult, because one's got to think of improved Draper form and improved Draper temperament.
That's a waste. Chance for him to put pressure on Draper.
Yes, he doesn't want to be missing his forehands. One would expect his backhand to break down. But Draper's not exactly hammering as he did at one period during the first set, all the time at the backhand side. He's mixing it up.
Untimely double. He's third. But the width is admirable. Draper still edges out in front. This is hard work now, and the sun's getting hotter. 3-2.
Byron Black been in reasonably good form of late.
2-3 here on centre. He's done it again. Now, did he conjure that shot on to bring him in? I thought he was playing for the winner, and I didn't like the shot.
No, I didn't either. I thought Draper may have done a bit more with it here. But still, Courier on the back foot came up with a brilliant lob.
Oh dear. He is missing here. This is a bad game for Draper because it was an extraordinarily bad shot again, I thought, from Courier. I didn't know what he was doing with that half volley. Trying to get to the net at all costs. But 2 points in this game that Draper really should have won. He really wants to get to the net now, doesn't he, Courier?
Yes, and Draper really standing off those shots, not really getting near enough to them. Of course, you don't want to get too close to them. You don't want the ball too close to your body. But he really wasn't over them at all, didn't have the control.
Speared that way, but about 3 inches out. Another solid game for Big Jim.
Well, he's doing the job on his serve. He's just losing precious few points on his serve. It's been some while since Draper's taken 2 points off it.
Well, he changed his mind twice. That was the result.
Yes, I think it's primarily as a result of his not playing his volleys well early in the match, and so consequently deciding at once to play it, then to leave it, and then, no, I better play it after all. Between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Long. But he has lobbed consistently well in this game, Courier.
Yes, and doing so again there, showing that Draper's a little slow moving backwards. And as a result, really, Courier should have done a bit more with that forehand.
Making him work hard, but he's not putting enough pressure really on the Draper serve.
And Draper concentrating a lot more on his ground strokes now in this game.
Oh yes, into double figures on aces now. 198 Ks, that last one. So Draper sits down pretty satisfied with serve so far in this deciding set. It's 4-3 to the Australian.